All right, welcome to Straight Red Card. In this segment, we're going to cover the player ratings for the U.S. versus Costa Rica game. It is 10 p.m. currently. I'm pretty lit. I think Brett's better than I am, so I'll do my best to kind of cling on here. And when I say cling on, it's not a Star Trek reference at all.
Or was it, Mr. I watched Picard on Paramount Plus?
You know, I have to say, I know it's a bad show, but I really was entertained by it. Anyhow,
like watching car accidents, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Same reason why people watch racing, huh?
Gentle car accidents, where no one really gets hurt, but you're just thinking somebody might get hurt, and so you got to watch.
Just a bunch of those automated Teslas running into each other with no people inside.
Yeah, like a rubbernecker watching that. There you go. So, okay, this is the weirdest rabbit hole I've gone down in a long time, Brett. So I was watching Scotland versus the Faroe Islands earlier today.
Game.
And Scotland barely pulled that game out. And so I'm like, well, who the fuck plays for the Faroe fucking Islands? So I went and looked at their roster. It's like a bunch of these guys play on an amateur team. And then I was thinking, what is wrong with Scotland? They got to kill these guys. And then I went to a deeper rabbit hole and I'm like, I don't really know a lot about the Faroe Islands. So then I went into the Wikipedia page of the Faroe. Then I started looking up all the biggest cities and looking at pictures of all the different towns. When I say cities, there are no cities on the Faroe Islands. They're just towns and villages. Now, like the biggest town has like 2,500 people or something like that. I'm going to be wrong because I'm doing this on memory. I was thinking, wouldn't it be weird to live on the fucking Faroe fucking Islands north of Denmark on the side of hills? Because they're basically like big mountains of islands. And like all where the people live are just on the very edges of all the islands of the Faroe Islands. Anyhow, I was thinking,
I bet you their home field has a phenomenal fucking view.
I bet it does, dude, because it's beautiful. It's really beautiful to look at. The villages are really beautiful to look at. But I was like, could I live there? I'm like, yeah, I could. I really could. Like when I'm like 70, I could like move to the Faroe Islands and just live in a small little villa.
Got the North Sea on your backside, man. That's gotta be cold shit.
Well, the big problem would be I wouldn't understand a goddamn word anybody says because they speak Faroese, which is a very it's like a branch of the Germanic language and the Nordic Germanic. And so Icelanders can kind of understand Faroe Island guys, but Faroe Island guys have a hard time understanding Iceland people. It's weird. Like their languages are related, but they're still so pronounced. The words are spelled the same way, but the words are pronounced in such a different way. They don't understand each other. So weird. What a weird fucking rabbit hole to go down. Anyhow,
I guess it's no different than us listening to the English talk and be like, "What the fuck are you saying?"
You mean Wayne Rooney?
Yeah. Anyway,
I could barely understand half of whatever Wayne Rooney ever said. It's kind of hilarious. All right, so is 6 points good enough, Brett? That's the real question. That's what everybody wants to know because we said it wasn't going to be.
So my take on this is 6 points can be acceptable depending on how the game that you didn't get any points on. So we'll just use the Panama game. We'll just say for what it is. How we played against the Panama game.
Right.
And I think that puts a big stink on our 6 points here. Now, don't get me wrong. We went into this saying 7 or 9.
Yep.
And quite frankly, we should have gotten 7 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no reason for us to have expected us to have gone and shit the bed in Panama.
Yep.
So it's I'm happy to come out, I guess, with 6 in the end, in the sense that we're still in contention up there. I know it's going to get harder for us.
Yes,
but
this next window is a bitch.
But I mean, you look around, and what you had Honduras lose to Jamaica at home, so they've lost points there. Fingers crossed El Salvador can pull off a miracle against Mexico. That'd be great.
Or
but that's in El Salvador, so I mean it's gonna be rough.
Even a tie's a miracle, really.
So, yeah. So I mean, we just got to continue doing our thing at home. We got Mexico at home next. With the way we're playing, I mean, if we come out and play Mexico like we played today against Costa Rica, I think we stand a good chance. Quite frankly.
Yeah, outside of the first 2 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, outside of the first 2 minutes, yeah. And a couple of lulls like at the end of the first half and moments here and there, you know.
So
I don't think 6 is a terrible result. I just think how we lost in Panama makes it kind of terrible, I guess.
It's 1 point away of sufficing.
Yeah.
I mean, had we gotten 7, a tie in Panama, I would have been a happy camper. And I think we're still, because of some of these results that are coming out with the other games, we're still going to be at the top of the table. So
sure,
Gregg's not getting fired, folks.
Let it go.
And let it go.
We got Mexico at home and Jamaica away next window.
I know we criticize Gregg a lot. That doesn't mean we hate him personally. I think Gregg's probably a really good guy. That's what I've heard through the grapevine, is that he's a really nice guy. He's wonky, but he is a nice guy. So this isn't personal. When we criticize Berhalter, it's not a personal thing. It's just, hey, we're calling the game. And I know I have called him a dickhead, and I know I've called him names. Those are jokes.
Well,
those are jokes.
And in the previous segment, I told Tight Shirt to fuck off, but that's not me. I don't think he's a terrible person. I just think that he made a bad comment. About a specific film. I'm like, fuck off.
I mean, if somebody clipped that and sent it to Tight Shirt and said, yeah, these straight red guys are eating you up, man. Here's Brett. And they click, and you know, Tight Shirt clicks on the play button, and it's like, yeah, Tight Shirt can fuck off. You know, I'm sure Tight Shirt will go, damn, Brett fucking doesn't like me. But if you take the conversation in context, you know, we kid around. So we don't think that Gregg Berhalter is a bad person. We don't hate him. We don't dislike him as a person. That's not what's going on here, just to be really clear. And you have to be really clear, because we get comments like that sometimes, like, oh man, you guys just hate fucking MLS, and you hate Gregg Berhalter. And it's like, no, we don't hate them. That's not what this is, what this whole story is about. So let's get to the ratings. These are going to be interesting. You want me to start?
No, I'll start with Steph.
Okay.
I gave him a B+.
All right, I gave him a B.
So, I mean, I don't know what. I mean, he wasn't really challenged outside of the goal, and that wasn't much he really could do. And outside of maybe being a little aggressive, going for it, I guess. But
yeah, it's tough because he was stuck between two different things that could have happened there. But it was funny watching Filippo for the first 3 minutes before I shut him off, because I need to watch the game. And I can't do like multiple things at the same time with, 4 people texting me as well. So yeah, I mean, Filippo was saying, oh, I guarantee you Turner would have stopped that shot.
So that's an interesting point, though. Not necessarily stop the shot, but how he would have addressed the lead up to that. Do you think Turner would have ran off his line and headed that ball out? Or do you think he would have closed the lane down and tried to cut off the angle and aim for a stop shot, stopping the shot?
Yeah, impossible to say.
I don't. From what I've seen of Turner, unless he's that far off his line already, I don't see him running off his line like Stefan did. And I'm not saying that Stefan did anything wrong. I thought that was a good play of getting out there and disrupting it. And then, of course, we let down here and there, and there's different reasons. But yeah, it's an interesting take to say, well, what would have Turner done? That entire spell, what would he have done differently? And they're two totally different goalkeepers. So that's something to consider.
Yeah, I mean, you could have two totally different scenarios. You could have the one where Turner doesn't come out and do the header, and then he has to take a guy on one-on-one who has a shot on goal, and does he save it or not? Or it's Stefan's idea, which is to be aggressive, come out, attack the ball, head it out, and get back in your goal. And then a bunch of weird shit happened. So it's not really his fault. So, but I still gave him a B. I thought he had a pretty good game.
I thought his distribution with his feet were great. Much better over Turner.
He had a couple bloopers, but yeah, I mean, nothing. They were longer and out wide. But I understand why they happened. I understood why they happened because, there was pressure. So
extra pressure and everything like that. But yeah, I thought for the most part his distribution was fine.
Yeah. My turn. Anthony Robinson. I gave Anthony an A.
I give him a B+.
Okay. All right.
And I didn't have much to complain about him, in all honesty. We talked about off air. I don't think we talked about this on air, but we talked about what led up into the goal and how he sort of checked in and covered what would have been Richard's man at the far post. Maybe that was his guy. I don't know. And then obviously the back post further on was left wide open. But I think what he did was the best thing he could do. He covered that man that was at the far post, and then hoped to God that somebody else would cover that far space in case it went past him. As a whole, I thought his getting into the attack was solid. He made a couple of flub passes here and there, but then again, everybody had a couple of flub passes. So I mean, it's a little nitpicky.
Yeah, he had that one cross that bloopered over. So
yeah,
I mean, I gave him an A. Oh, I gave him an A-. I'm sorry. I know I said A, but the way I wrote this down, the minus doesn't show up. So the pen ran out. So A- for Anthony. Dest, your turn.
I gave Dest an A+.
I gave him an A. All right.
I mean, he outside of just maybe not necessarily making a couple of passes. There were a couple times where Weah or Musa was making that run in. He held on to it and cut in. Mind you, he got a goal for doing exactly that too. A phenomenal goal. But I mean, he got the goal. He got an assist, or what should have been an assist.
Yeah.
Despite the fact it's considered an own goal. Fuck you guys. That's the dumbest own goal ever. It should have just been a goal to Weah.
It should have been, yeah.
But I thought he had a great game, and when he went down with the injury initially, I was going, "Oh, this is awful," because he's having like the best game ever in his U.S. men's national team's career. So
yeah, it was great. It was great. The only reason I didn't give him an A+ is because he wasn't perfect, but no one was. And I mean, I guess it's kind of stupid that I'm looking for a perfect for an A+. But
who's ever had a perfect A+ game?
Yeah, I mean, I guess on the scale when I was teaching, 97 to 100 was an A+. So maybe he does deserve an A+.
Should have had 2 goals and an assist. God.
I mean, really, I'm giving him the assist. I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and that goal was fucking first class. So
I mean, it's eerily similar to his goal he had in the friendlies leading up to Nations League, except for he's on the left hand side and cut into his right, about 15 yards further back, but still just an absolute rip to the corner. Beautiful shot.
It was beautiful. It was great. All right, it's you and Miles.
I mean, I guess I'll go with Miles because I didn't do Dest. Robinson, I gave Miles Robinson a B-.
I gave him a B. Why am I being nicer tonight? All right.
So again, just there were a couple of sloppy passes. I thought his passing overall, actually, minus a couple passes, I thought his passing was spot on and absolutely amazing. Especially splitting the midfield and even going further up. I thought he's had some great passes. The reason I gave him a B-, and this is kind of a little harsh, I guess, because he did cover himself.
He did,
but that flub of a pass that gave it to Brian Ruiz, and where he had the opportunity to score. If that happened against Mexico, if that happened against Jamaica, I mean that would be a shot on goal. I'm not saying that would have gone past Stefan or Turner, whoever's in between the pipes, but that would have been an opportunity. The only reason it wasn't is because Brian's had 2 hip replacements, and he carried his walker out to the field apparently. But Miles is a fast motherfucker, and he got back there.
Yeah, I was gonna say Brian Ruiz is slow. There's no doubt about it. He's a slow dude.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't just rip the shot, in all honesty.
But honestly, if you go back and watch the replay on that, and you look how many yards Miles was behind Ruiz to catch up to him, I mean, I was like, that was like that when it was live, it was in slow motion for me. And I'm like, oh my God, holy shit. Miles Robinson's like a fucking sprinter.
He's fast as fuck.
Gained on Brian Ruiz. Like Brian Ruiz was surprised he showed up. You know, I was too. I was surprised he got there all the way. I mean, he shut down that distance in such quick amount of time. Can I say this? Sure. Miles Robinson is the best center back we have right now.
Sure.
He's the best center. He's better than Richards. He's better than Miazga. He's better than Brooks. He's better than all of them. Why?
I don't know if he's had a bad game for the Nats yet. He may have had some bad plays here and there, but his overall games have been stellar.
So European scouts, if you're out there and you've been fucking around, you've been, packing the pud, whatever you're doing out there, not fucking doing your job. And, going out and scouting guys like Mark McKenzie, which is fine. It's fine. He's a Genk. That's fine. You're missing the best center back we have. The best American center back is Miles Robinson. Yes, he made a goofy error tonight. I get it. But I still gave him a B. So what'd you give him again?
B minus.
Okay. Adams, A.
Well, we didn't do Richards yet.
Oh, yeah. Richards. Richards, B. I give him a B.
Yeah, so did I.
I mean,
I thought he played well today.
I think he should have fouled that guy instead of taking a weird swipe at the ball and just letting the guy go for a breakaway after, Miles made the rare. I mean, Miles had 2 mistakes tonight where you're like, that was a giveaway, dude. Come on. So, okay, does Miles need to clean that up? He sure does. But still best center back we got. Oh, by the way, Brett, did you know that Miles Robinson plays in the MLS?
I heard that. I've heard that.
Yeah. He does not play in any weird Belgian team.
I didn't believe him, but I've heard it. So, yeah, I thought Richards had a good outing for his first start. I think, in all honesty, he was probably subbed out simply because Miles is one of our best, arguably our best center back, and outside of a couple flubs, he's still having a good game. So if you got to bring in Zimmerman for a bit of height at the end of the game, you might as well. But I thought Richards played well, and I think the B is warranted.
Is that who he came in for?
I thought so.
Nope, he didn't.
He came in for Richardson.
So Zimmerman and Zardes came in for Aaronson and Pepe. So basically what happened was Gregg was going ultra defensive. So he played 3 center backs at the end of the game.
Okay, so who took out Richards?
No one took out Richards.
Oh, is he still in there? I thought he got subbed out.
No.
All right, well, take that last minute and a half of me saying, well, I wouldn't have taken him out, and just ignore it because apparently I was wrong.
I will. Yeah. So yeah, we just played with 3 center backs at the end of the game, just because of all the set pieces and shit that we knew were going to happen.
Long balls are going to get lobbed up there. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. You gave Adams an A, right?
I did. I did give Adams an A. Yeah.
Yeah. So did I. I mean, hard not to.
I don't know. I was on the verge of giving an A+, but there were some errors. There were at least a handful of things where I was like, you're not in the right place, or you didn't move to the right space, or you made a bad pass. But
plus he didn't get a goal and an assist. So.
he did not get a goal and assist, but he was the backbone of this Seventh Nation Army.
Well, that went into the we talked about this in another segment, not last segment, but some previous one. But Leipzig did a thing with FIFA where Adams went around, was handing out all the Leipzig player cards to each individual player. And he's handing them out, and they're all cracking jokes about it, everything. And it was a lot of fun to watch. And then he got to his card, and he pulled it out, and he's like, shooting 48. 48, what? And one of the guys, I forgot who it was, comes in and goes, that's because you never shoot.
That's true. He does not shoot much. But he was on the verge of shooting a couple times tonight.
Yeah.
And then he got stuffed right at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
He did, like McKenny, he did do a little bit of hero ball there right after the goal on occasion and lost it by dribbling way out in front of himself. But other than that, I give Adams the A. He's the backbone. You got Musa.
I have Musa, and I gave Musa an A.
I gave Musa an A minus. So not far off. And I think that we're quibbling probably.
Yeah.
I just think that there were some moments, although, I mean, goddamn, his first half was,
dude, I mean,
really
in all honesty,
really good.
Yeah. In all honesty, his ability to play under pressure in tight spaces is just bar none. I don't think we don't have another person, maybe outside of Pulisic, but I mean, even then, I think Musa edges him as far as just being comfortable and dribbling around and maintaining possession of the ball. It's phenomenal to watch. You
know what he reminds me of? Darlington Nagbe plus 25%. That's what he reminds me of. Plus 25% skill, plus 25% speed, plus 25. Maybe 25 is too much. But
his dip of his hip and then turn every time it faked the Costa Rica defense out every single time. And it was just sort of like dip the hip going left, turn right in attacking the defense every single time. And it was just, it does it so flawlessly, and it just opens up the field for us.
And give Gregg credit for starting him all 3 games. Yeah. I mean, don't give Gregg credit for starting him alongside Acosta and Leggett, but give him credit for starting him all 3 games. And I guess resting him last game after halftime. McKenny, is you?
No, I did Musa.
Oh, okay. I give McKenny a B plus.
I gave him a B minus.
Okay. Why so? I mean, I'm again, this is going to be quibbling, right? Yeah. B minus, B plus.
So we talked about his hero ball from time to time, and that wasn't just in the first 20 minutes. He did not a lot of it. He did it throughout the match. And like I said, I thought where he excelled the most is when he slowed it down. He was calm and collect, and then did a nice little ping, nice 20, 30, 40 yard, switch of play. And every time those were all spot on. But whenever he was running around at 100%, his passes were always off. But on top of that, I don't have enough of the buildup of the goal from a perfect angle. But and again, as Robinson checked in to cover the guy at far post, McKenny was the closest person to the guy who got the goal.
And everyone should keep in mind, we have not watched a replay of the show yet. So these ratings are just gut feelings.
Yeah.
From what we just fucking watched.
So and I could be off on that, in all honesty. Maybe Robinson shouldn't have checked in the far post, and maybe that was supposed to be Richards' man, and Robinson left his guy high and open. I don't know. But when he got the ball, McKenny was about 7 yards trotting back at the time. Now, I mean, he may have made a 50-yard sprint to get back to that point. I don't know. But that's the only reason why I knocked him down a little bit.
So, what I thought was interesting about McKenny tonight was that at some points in the game, especially in the first half, it looked like we were playing a 4-2-1-3 instead of a 4-1-2-3. It looked like we had 2 6s because McKenny kept dropping back deep to pick up the ball when Costa Rica started shadowing shadowing Adams. And so like for a while there, and then Musa would always, like, when the two of them would both drop back, Adams and McKenny, Musa would stay high and he would look for open space. And that really fixed a lot of issues for us. Like, you notice the passing was a lot more fluid because we were willing to kind of evolve into a 2-6 midfield, just however briefly, to fix the problem. And that fixed a lot of problems. Like, that's why some of the play was so fluid tonight.
Sure.
It doesn't hurt that you have McKennie and Adams and Musa together as a trio instead of Leggett and Acosta. So
absolutely.
Anyhow, I thought that was really interesting, and something that I picked up tonight watching the game was the transitions between those three and how they kind of, a lot of the times they would just circle around each other.
Yeah, when there were a few times where Musa covered back as well, but predominantly, obviously, Adams is back, and then McKennie covered more defensive responsibilities, and Musa just had more offensive responsibilities. And I think that was, I don't know if that was a Gregg plan, and obviously looking at the skill sets, I think that's perfectly acceptable. But that also could just be the players accepting their role, just saying, this is how I'm supposed to perform. This is what I'm going to be asked to do, and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree. Well done. If that was the plan, Gregg, okay. Brownie points, buddy. You're Aaronson.
I gave Aaronson a B.
I gave him a B plus. I thought he was just a workaholic.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I thought,
and again, this is quibbling too. I mean, a lot of this is going to be quibbling back and forth. Just small little, like, no, I thought this, I thought that, And the difference between me saying B and a B plus could just be, I've noticed a couple passes that were off. All of a sudden, like, oh, I gotta dock that a little bit. But no, I agree. I thought that he was a ball of energy on the field. I thought a lot of our offensive creativity and chances stemmed from him and his side. Mm-hmm. I mean, they also stemmed from Weah's side as well. So obviously, we had a lot of offensive attack today, which is something you can't say about the Panama game. But
I would guess if you looked at possession time total for the whole front line, and maybe even the midfield, I would guess Aaronson had the ball at his feet more than any other player tonight, and he did well with it. Mm-hmm. And I just think, yes, were there bad passes? There were. But when you have the ball that much, when you have that much responsibility, I think you're going to lose the ball on occasion. And that's what happened to him. So,
well, otherwise we would have had 4 or 5 goals.
Right.
So, no, passes weren't always going to make it. I thought the Costa Rican defense held their line well, despite the fact that we were pressuring them 90% of the game.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. And I think I sent you this text the other day, which is I watched like all touches from Paxton Aaronson. Yeah. Oh my God. They're like mirror images of each other. The way they look, the way they dribble, the way they play, the way they hold themselves. I don't know. So maybe we might have 2 Aaronsons to pick from.
Stay healthy. I mean, at some point though, I mean, let's say Paxton jumps into that mix. We're gonna be leaving somebody home that definitely warrants a spot. And that's a great issue to have, I guess. But maybe at some point, maybe at that point, maybe Berhalter's like, well, Jesus, to get everybody I want here, I may have to start moving Aaronson or moving Weah, or assuming Paxton gets to that point, Paxton into the midfield. We may have to change up a couple things how we play, or just personnel in general.
If Leipzig doesn't buy doesn't buy Aaronson in this next window, I will shit my pants because I will be in disbelief. He is the best player on Salzburg by a long shot.
Oh yeah. Every goal and most opportunities stem from him. Mm-hmm. Not saying that he's causing them all, but he's the one who makes the play that breaks it out, and then they get the other person gets the assist or whatever. But
if he doesn't start right away for Leipzig, I'd be shocked as well. Mm-hmm. So, your turn, right?
Weah. I gave Weah an A.
I gave him a B plus, so we're not far off. We're not far off here. Again, I think it's quibbling. I did like the goal. I did like most of what Weah did, actually. And maybe I should move it to like an A minus just for the goal alone. Okay, I will. I'll move it to an A minus. There we go.
Peer pressure's a bitch, Derek. I let you continue to talk yourself into it. If I didn't say a word there, you may have bumped them up to an A plus.
I've never cared about peer pressure. Oh, that's not true. I was in high school once. Anyhow, Yeah, I drank a lot in high school. Surprise, because of peer pressure. No, actually, like drinking.
And it tasted good. No.
It tastes.
Dude. Oh, speaking of which, and this is going to be a little off topic, but jumping back to Filippo and Pete's comments, and I posted it as a regular comment, but Filippo's like, yeah, I got this commenter, and the stuff he was saying just made you think of like it was like that weird drunk uncle, and I go, what's wrong with being a drunk uncle?
I'm a drunk uncle.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm still So yeah, don't make fun of us. God damn it, dude. Not you, Brett. I was talking to Pete. I mean, not Pete. Filippo. Yeah. See, who's drunk uncle now? All right. We got one more. Unless you have more to say about Way.
Did we give Aaronson an actual grade though?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, I wasn't 100% positive.
B and B plus, I believe.
Okay,
and then Way A and A minus.
So I'm marking these off as I'm doing them. I didn't have Aaronson mark, so there's just me slacking.
Yeah, no, I've been marking them off too. Not that it makes any difference because I don't use any of these notes when I make the video. It's because I just listen and react and post whatever. Yeah. Anyhow, Pepe, is it my turn?
Yes.
I gave him a B.
Yeah, I also gave him a B.
Yep. I just think there were a lot of opportunities, not a lot, but the opportunities that were there. I don't think sometimes he was in the right spaces for the passes, the crosses. He missed, I think, he should have at least got his head on the ball on a cross.
So you gotta get hip checked if we're talking about the same one, like right there on the far post. There's a one where he went up for the header, and then all of a sudden the guy literally just backed up into him. He's like reaching for it,
Might have been, but I thought he could have at least gotten a noggin on it.
Mexico just scored.
Oh, set piece. God damn it. Come on, El Salvador, get your shit together. Oh, that was just a horrible goal. That was horrible. That shouldn't have happened. Okay.
Back to Pepe.
Yeah.
I thought he got into a couple opportunities and he connected with the ball. Some of the headers weren't the best, or they were fine, but they didn't have enough power to get past Navas. And similar to what Twelman was talking about in the previous segment that we brought up, is Pepe and then whoever else was making the runs in the box just made the exact same runs. And then I'm not saying that's just on Pepe, but I mean you got to recognize where the open spaces are, and he kept cutting that near post, which is perfectly fine and acceptable for a striker to do on a low cross. But I guess maybe you can also blame some of those missed opportunities on the people crossing the ball.
Yeah, there were some pretty aimless crosses here and there. So
and a B's not a bad grade.
B's not bad.
I thought one of the best parts of his game, and what kept us in the attack most of the time when we made an errant pass or whatever, is he was like the first line of pressure, and he usually caused a missed pass or just a forced pass that caused dispossessed later. Either way, so I thought he played well.
Yeah, I think he was fine. I just think, it wasn't perfect, and it was anyhow. We said we got to say. I do think you just said best farts of the game, not best parts of the game. Pretty sure you said farts. Pretty sure. I'm not kidding.
Parts of the game. I don't think I said best parts of the game.
No, you did. You said one of the best parts of the game, but you said one of the best parts. One of his best farts of the game.
I think you need to get whatever that device they advertise on YouTube to clean out your ears a little bit there.
Nope, it's going to be on video. Everyone would be clearly hearing you say farts.
Now that you keep bringing it up, they're like, "Did he say farts?" And then they're going to listen to it and they're going to hear farts because you keep bringing it up.
No, you said farts.
I don't think I said farts.
All right. Well, you got something against farts?
Yes. I'm sitting next to a dog that farts all the time. It stinks.
Well, those are dog farts. That's different. Those are gross. Now I have a really tiny dog, and he never farts. Gizmo never farts. He's never farted ever. Yeah. And whatever.
My dog has something decaying in him, or decaying in her. It's just something bad. I don't know.
Well, when you got a dog that's 12 inches tall, like I do, even if he did have farts, what possible emissions could he release? that could probably stink up any more than like a 1 foot diameter. I'm safe.
Fair enough.
It's like, little dog breath, bad doggy breath for a dog that's like, a foot long. It's not bad. It's really not bad. Big dogs, they've got the schlubbies and they get all the fungus and shit growing in that. Just stinks and shit. Like my parents' dogs, you probably had to take a shower when you came home from our dinner. You pet the dogs so much, those two big stinky retrievers. Those dogs are stinky. Their lips are stinky. And anyhow. All right. So Yedlin, I just didn't give him a grade. I mean, he got 20 minutes, but I don't know how to give him a grade.
He didn't have much defensive pressure to have to apply there, but he did a couple of decent crosses. I don't know if they're decent crosses, but he got on the end of some crosses. I gave him a B just because, the moments he had to play, he played well, I thought.
Okay, so a B's fine. And that's usually what I do with these 20-minuters and these 10-minuters. And so I gave Hoppy a B too, although he missed an opportunity. But he still got the ball to Busio when he flipped it a little bit, and Busio had a shot, but he didn't get it on goal. So a B for Hoppy too. But I'd like to see a whole lot more Hoppy because he was aggressive out there. And I like that.
God, if only we need an aggressive player in Panama.
Yeah.
If only.
I mean, Hoppy should have played at least 20 minutes, 30 minutes in Panama. It's just an atrocity that Berhalter just lived down tonight because a lot of people are going to go, hey, we won. Fuck that Panama game. That's going to go, they're going to shelve it, right?
But just speaking of contradictions, and the walking contradiction he didn't want to play Adams because Adams just got back from injury and he hasn't really had that much playing time. Well, Arriola got back from injury and has played a handful of games at most, but then he was going to play all 3 games. And
then, just as you and I predicted, Arriola got hurt again. In warm-ups, not the game, in warm-ups. And like I think may have mentioned, that was a sign from the soccer gods. And the soccer gods were on our side tonight, and we should be thankful. I don't want anybody to get hurt ever. But you know what? Having the right guys on the pitch, having Weah there starting instead of Arriola, that's a big difference. It's a big difference. All right, who are we on? Busio. Go ahead, Brett.
Gave Busio a B+.
Yeah, I thought he's pretty good. I'll live with that. So I put no grade, but
He was connecting his long balls, and he had a couple of them where he
sorry
back to that whole comment. Busio's balls are beautiful.
Who said that? Who said Busio's balls are beautiful?
That was a random person on Twitter.
Okay.
So
I'm sure they are.
But he had some really nice through balls, some lobs over the defense, and it was just unfortunate that Calvo and company may have barely gotten ahead to it. That deflected a little bit past where our striker would have gotten a hold of it. So I thought Busio played well, and it's a good sight to see. Given the next time we have to rotate players in our midfield, that we could throw him in there.
Yeah. Listen. Busio, for his 10 minutes were well manscaped. He was good. He did fine.
They were beautiful, those balls.
They were shiny. Shiny balls. All right. Zimmerman and Zardes just came in for the last 5. That was time wasting. I gave them no grade.
Yeah.
I think they just did fine. They did what they were supposed to.
They didn't do anything wrong.
No, they weren't idiots. Neither of them had to put on a clown nose tonight and go.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody's going to come up and say, well, Zardes had like 2 missed touches. Like, okay, but he was in there for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, but he had that steal.
Yeah.
That should have been a goal.
Yeah.
But didn't end up being a goal at the very end of the game. So, he that steal was him. That was him anticipating that pass, and it was a shitty pass, but he anticipated a shitty pass and he got it. And I'm not going to, we don't have a grade for him tonight, but good play in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's everybody except for Berhalter. Oh my God. What do we give Berhalter? Wow, Brett, what do we do here? I'm going to give Berhalter a minus.
I was sitting there thinking while you're like, what do we do here? What do we do? I'm like, Jesus, what do we do here? Do we give him an A? Because I mean, he came out with a lineup that we probably could have had one complaint with. And even then, I'm sure we would have came out fine. But having to put Way in because of an injury was a stroke of what you should have done to begin with.
Yeah.
So regardless, I guess we can't necessarily discredit him for that, even though that was his intent to have Ariel playing from the get-go. But his lineup was good, about everything we wanted. And the subs were good. Maybe a little bit sooner with Hoppy would have been nice. Again, would like to see a little more from him. But yeah, I'd have to say maybe we would have to give him an A minus. Credit where credit's due.
Yeah, and I think if we do the whole window, and we're going to do this with Pete tomorrow, so we won't go into depth here. But if you give him an A minus tonight, you give him an F for that's a 60, right? If you're a teacher, and then you give him an A for Jamaica, which is a 95, and you add that all up, and you get 295, or 245, 245. Sorry, I'm doing this in my head. And then you divide that by 3 games, you get 81. And 81 is a C, /C plus for the window. And I think that's somewhat fair. C plus for the whole window. Had 2 good games, had a really horrible F in between 2 A's. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And it's weird to think that, given how dominant we were against Jamaica and against Costa Rica, that he's coming out of the window with a C. But that Panama game was just awful.
It's just so bad that you can't overlook how bad that is.
And he failed across the board with that. Not only did he fail on the actual lineup, but he failed with the subs too.
Yeah,
there was nothing redeeming about that game.
No. So you got 2 A's, and in between is an F sandwich. All right. In between the 2 buns, which are the A's, in between you got an F. And that F could be made out of whatever animal starts with an F. What animal starts with an F?
Fish, ferrets.
It could be a funky fish sandwich. All right. Because that's what the F was in between the 2 buns. Well, they're buns, but they're A buns. All right. I think that's going to do it for tonight. And tomorrow night, we have Pete on the show, and we're going to talk about the whole overall window, and we'll get Pete's grade for the window and Pete's thoughts on the window. And we'll talk about the upcoming next window and, what thoughts and expectations will be. So
9 points.
People are going to start thinking we're unrealistic, Brett.
Derek, there's 2 games the next window.
Oh, even worse. Why are there only 2 games? That's confusing. I guess the weather starts turning like shit.
Well, I mean, there's 14 games altogether. So you do 3, 3, 3, and 3. You're gonna have 12. 3, 3, 3, and 3. Yeah, 12. And then you have to have 1 window of 2.
I'm really good at math, but I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Well done. Okay.
I'm super smart.
Boom, 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 boom. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your Uncle Fritz, and we'll be back.
Hit that notification bell.
Bing, bing, bing.
Keep waiting, and then you jump right into the we'll catch you next time. So I keep having to interrupt you on that.
That's okay.
I'm just going to blur it out, assuming that you'll forget it next time.
I did go bing, bing, bing.
Yeah. We will catch you on the next time with the Straight Red Card.